There we go.
Am I there? Am I here?
I think so. Give me 1 second. There we go.
Hello?
All right.
Am I live?
You are live, Glenn.
Fantastic. I'm going to go ahead and share a screen here to help me with my points. Is that visible?
Yes, I see it.
What's it say?
Encinitas Union School District, 5,400 students.
Go ahead and continue with my presentation.
I'll let you do that.
All right, fair enough. Encinitas is in Southern California. We are in San Diego County. We are on the coast. It's a spectacular area. Interestingly enough, and it's in northern San Diego County. We have a variety of different schools. We have 9 elementary schools. We are an elementary district. This is one of the attractions that brought me to Encinitas because I believe the real action is with our youngest kids. If we can get this real world piece going well with our kindergartners, I think that adage that everything I needed to know I learned in kindergarten, I still think holds up even in the technology world. Anyway, we have kindergartners through 6th grade, and we have been a one-to-one iPad program district, and we're in our 5th year. That's pretty unique, especially the idea that we have every single kindergartner has their own iPad and it can go home, all the way up through 6th grade. This was launched during the time that you may have been aware of some of the woes of larger school districts that tried a one-to-one iPad rollout or even the limited rollout. We weathered through all of that and have been very successful. And in fact, it's been an amazing financial positive in terms of repopulating our iPads. Many folks looked at the front end and how much one-to-one providing that for our students would be, and less expensive devices are wonderful. But having an iPad, that was like, wow, we get an iPad? What we didn't anticipate was that we had made this commitment financially and realized the resale value of a 3-year-old iPad is significantly higher than other devices. So our now net for repopulating every single iPad, we've already gone through 2 refreshes, and it has been fractionally less expensive than the initial rollout. So it's actually proven to be amazing for us. Another piece about that is we are very deeply committed to an equity of access piece in our district. We wanted to make sure that all of our kids, had access to a quality device. Also, a little piece of information about a week and a half ago, the P21 group, a partnership for 21st century schools, they had been identifying many schools over the years as exemplar schools. But this year was the first year that they identified an exemplar district. And I'm very proud to say that Encinitas was identified as being one of the 4 exemplar districts from P21. And for those of you who may not be familiar with the P21 framework, it really speaks to the career ready piece. It speaks to the 4 C's, the collaboration, communication, critical thinking, and creativity. But it also speaks to the information literacy, digital literacy piece, which is the more skill set piece. And our district has been absolutely lasered in the last couple of years on this issue of information literacy education, which is really the wheelhouse of school and teacher librarians. It's a librarian thing, the information literacy. And so we have been using that as a platform, a skill set to help build our students' capacity for learning anything. In fact, that kind of rolls us right into a program that we were moving forward with, something called Dreams. You may be familiar, or should be, I'm sure you all are familiar with the STEM effort, the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So the typical labels that are out there connected to that are STEM or STEAM, which adds the arts into that. or stream, which I think is pretty cool too, because it actually adds the research piece. But all of those kind of sounded kind of weird to us. You know, stream, STEM, that kind of thing. We went with dreams. That sounds so much better. And notice the T is out of there. There's no T in there. There's no T in dreams. So we're not even calling forward the technology. The reason why, and where we are as a district, the technology is everywhere. Everybody has the technology. So we're kind of getting beyond the issue of the technology and now moving into what is the pedagogy and what is the, how we're going to, handle this incredible access to almost infinite amounts of information. So DREAM stands for design, research, engineering, and mathematics and science. And so the idea would be the D is actually kind of connected to design thinking, which is actually, sadly, in my slide reversed incorrectly. The D kind of speaks to the career technical ed standards, and the R, which is the research, speaks to our California model school library standards.
And Glenn, let me interrupt you one quick second. We're not seeing the slides. I don't know.
Can you, let's see here. If I go, I thought we had somebody read them off to me that we did see them.
That was me. I did see them.
And then they went away. Can you see them now?
Yes. There we go.
Okay, so you can see this.
Yes. Yes. Got it.
Okay. All right. So that's where we were here. And then what I wanted to share with you is that, when we do, design thinking has really made a big step forward. We have, the maker spaces have been showing up. I'm sure many of you are familiar with that. But the problem we noticed is that the research piece was missing. And this is, I love the comments that were made earlier, that the fact that we're emphasizing research, using our librarians, that is absolutely essential. Because if you start moving forward with this design thinking piece or these makerspace pieces and you leave the research out, you get stuff like that. Or this. Or this. Didn't quite think through the research, right? So what ends up happening is that we've noticed that in all of the standards that we have, that research is such a critical piece of this. And it shows up in every one of our standards. In fact, both the Common Core standards that some states have adopted and others have their own version of that, but research is embedded in everything. So what we tried to do was, we've been saying to our students, hey, look, what matters to you matters. We want our students and their personal interests to find its way into the academics of our school and the way our schools. And the way to do that is by really focusing on that information literacy piece as that bridge between the standards focused learning, which is the required learning, and the student focused learning, which is the desired learning. It can be different for every child, and start to accommodate for that. Well, I got to tell you that singular push really moved our parent community for sure. And as a result, it really turned into this idea that we really wanted to personalize the learning for our students. And when I say personalization, we're not talking about modification of curriculum to meet the need. It includes that for sure. We're not even talking about individualization, which again is really kind of focused on the academic only piece. The personalization is the idea that we really want to know what matters to the student. And the only way to get that done is we've got to listen to their voice. So that brings us to Project Tomorrow, and what a tremendous support it is for us currently and moving forward. And that was, we get to hear the personalized, it speaks to the personalized learning piece, because we're actually hearing the voice of the student. We're actually being able to, and that's what I'm so proud of with the Project Tomorrow. From the very beginning, unlike some Johnny-come-lately folks, whoever they may be, they started with the idea that we have got to make sure that we're hearing the uninterrupted, unleavened voice of the student. But with that comes, where's our parent community? Because when we try to move forward with initiatives and move forward with innovative programs, if we get out in front of where our parents are, it can really come back and hurt us. So that became a very important piece. So the personalization of learning, it supported that. It obviously supports the information literacy piece because that's how we go about doing research, that information literacy. So our teachers and our students began to value on a much higher plane, much higher level, the value of research and the value of voice. So this is why the Speak Up survey began to rise, because people began to believe, and this is, I think, critically important, that their voice was going to be heard. And on another front, I don't know if you guys are familiar with local control funding formula, that should be formula, sorry about that. But the local control funding formula requires school districts and school sites to listen to the voice of their community. So we found that Speak Up data started finding its way in to the local control funding formula as well. This really powerful because we were able to actually turn to the data that's there. And another point that I think is really important to mention is that there's a lot of discussions about rethinking rigor. And the idea of rethinking rigor is this thought that, you know, rigor isn't just hard, it's the idea of finding something that really is relevant to the student. We've been using the Speak Up data to speak to that. Where are our students? Where are their interests? And how might we use that to increase rigor? And then finally, there's an app for that. Since we are a iPad district, we are able now to roll out, push out a app, a web clip. It appears like it's an app, but it comes out into the iPads as a single click that takes the students to the survey. So this is helping to make the job a lot easier for our students, for our teachers, for our school sites, and being able to get back to the school site leader, the principal of each school, the data that's related to their school community has been invaluable. So that has helped bring our principals to that level of buy-in that we really, really needed. So that kind of concludes my presentation there. So I'll go